All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for tuning in today. So, you may notice that I am not in my office. Unfortunately, I got the virtual background going, and that is because we still have the air conditioning issue apparently with the office. They're trying to get it fixed. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, I had to leave my office because I didn't want to do this in a sauna. As much as maybe some of you would have wanted me to see me sweat and everything, but get my suit all sweaty, but I didn't want to do that. So we had to move to the conference room. And in the conference room, all you would see was a blank white background. So I figured we'll have the virtual one. And besides, it's not all about me today anyway. It's about our very special guest, Mahandra Mick Patel. We picked up on this case just like a month or two ago. I can't believe that there was not more news about this case. It seems like it kind of fell off the radar. I mean, it seems like the law tubers didn't really pick this case up. And thankfully, I had some people that actually were close to Mahandra let me know about the case. And once I started looking into the case, it was just one of these cases that was just it's unbelievable. It's just it was on the same level of Karen Reed, if not worse, because here you have somebody where there's very, very little evidence at all. There's no text stream data. There's no data at all. I mean, the surveillance footage speaks for itself. And then all they're left with is a victim or alleged victim who claims, oh, you know what? I should take off that banner that says starting soon, because we did not start soon. We started already. Anyway, sorry about that. We just had one witness who claimed that something happened. And then this witness apparently has a history of embellishing certain things. So that's what we've learned on the case. And thankfully, and it's good that in Georgia, the prosecutors have ethics and morals, and they dropped the case. And that's exactly what should have happened with Karen Reed, but for perhaps other reasons, it was not done. So here, it was dropped, and good for them, good for the prosecutors doing the right thing. So we do have, thankfully, Mahandra agreed to come onto this channel. I think this is the first sit-down interview that he's doing. So a lot of the local channels apparently were at his house, and we'll find out a little bit more about that. But I think this is the first time that he's actually sitting down for a long, extended interview all about the case. So I'm very thankful and very grateful for him to come on. So without any further ado, let us bring on Mahandra. Here we are, Mahandra, and I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so tell me what happened. I just initially, right after the news, obviously, where the motion was made by the prosecutor to drop the charges. So you got home. Just kind of tell us what happened then with all the local news stations. Is this the first sit-down interview that you're doing about this case?
Yes, I do. This is the first. We have a series of people who wants to interview me, but you are the first one, because I think law tubers, I love them. They are the independent, non-partial analyzing the case, unlike the legacy media. So thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I mean, nobody tells me what to say. Nobody gives me any ideas about which way I should lean or not. It's all me and myself and looking at the evidence, and maybe that's what drew you to us. But that's something I think it's becoming a lot more popular, and I think that's why it's taking off, because people are really, they want the objective truth, they want the facts, so they come to us, law tubers, that are just looking at this objectively from our experience and telling people what we see. So I think what you're seeing, a lot of other people are seeing, and that's why a lot of attention is being drawn to the law tubers like ourselves. But still, we understand that they still have a very strong presence, all the big national television stations, and I very much appreciate coming onto the onto us first to sit down and talk about this case. So let me ask you first, did anybody apologize to you after everything that you've gone through? Just a simple, I'm sorry that you went through this, we got the wrong thing, we had the wrong idea, after the evidence coming in, we see that we just locked up an innocent man for nothing. Did anybody actually apologize to you?
Yeah, you would think that people would. We all make mistakes in life, and when we are wrong, we apologize. You would think that somebody will apologize to me. No, not to this point. Nobody has apologized. Nobody said anything. That sorry you went through it. Besides all the community outpouring support, but not the state government.
Not the people that were involved in prosecuting you or the alleged victim here.
No, I would like to call her a fake victim, but yes, Nobody.
Yeah, I should call it the fake victim at this point. But so there was some reports, and I'm not sure if you're allowed to talk about this. So anytime I get into any area that you're not allowed to say anything, just simply tell me I can't talk about it and I'll move on. But there were some reports that there was there's a meeting between the prosecutor and the victim, because before they drop the charges, you're supposed to, according to in Georgia, according to Georgia law, you got to meet with the victim and tell the victim what you think about doing. If you're the prosecutor. Was there a meeting? Were you part of it? And what happened in that meeting? It looked like there were some reports about it, but is that something that you're allowed to talk about or not?
No, it was a privileged meeting, as you may or may not know. There is something called Mercy's Law. It's a victim's right law, where a victim must be notified if somebody is caught on a bond, they drop the charges, or anything, and it needs to be so. Victim rights are protected, and they have a rights to that. So, in order to satisfy that particular amendment, DA, before they drop the charge, they have to do that, and it's a privileged conversation. So I cannot talk much about it, but you bring it up, and obviously Sonia Allen, just after the charge was dropped. She went out and made a comment about it. That's why we are talking about it. Otherwise, we should not be saying that. And she made it sound like it was some kind of facilitation happened between two parties, and it's supposed to be privilege. So I won't talk much about it.
Right. I mean, I know the prosecutor didn't mention it, that she complied with the statute. I mean, that's what she's required to do at this motion hearing. She said that she did meet with the victim, but she didn't say the details of the meeting or try to present any sort of story or picture of what kind of happened there, whether you were part of it, she was part of it, what you guys said to each other. There's nothing like that she said in open court. And that's why I saw some of the reports afterwards. It was interesting that people seem to be reporting about what actually happened or what was said. Whether that's accurate or not is a different story. So let's kind of move on to what happened, if you don't mind, because this is what everybody wants to hear. I mean, they want to hear, what, from your perspective, exactly what happened. And I think they want to hear about what you went through. So let's first kind of get an idea of who you are. I know that there was some talks about a DUI that you were charged with at one point. Other than that, it seems like you had a pretty clean criminal record. So what type of person are you? I mean, are you the type of person that are committing crimes every left and right, and you're living on the shady part of the street, or are you an upstanding individual in the community that owns businesses and has a family and takes care of family? Are you a community person? Like, just kind of give us a little bit of feeling of your background and who you are leading up to this event.
Yeah, I'm happily married to my wonderful wife, Alpa, for the last 32 years. We have two beautiful children. I'm an engineer. My wife is a doctor. We're living in an Atlanta suburb, same house for the last 21 years. My two girls are in a graduate school. One is in a medical school in Arizona. Another one is an MBA in Chicago. I've been in
Did you say, I'm sorry, let me just put, do you say you're an engineer?
I'm an engineer. I have a graduate degree as well in engineer. I worked in corporate America for several years. I opened my own consulting company, ran it successfully for long years. I'm a real estate investor, and we own several properties, in fact, in Acworth, in Cobb County, and surrounding Atlanta areas for the last 15 years.
So just understand. So you were an engineer by trade, and now you own and manage real estate? Yes,
that's what we do now, full time.
So you don't really do the engineer. You don't use your engineering background at this point of your life?
No, I don't. No, I'm full time in real estate now.
Okay, and then you said your wife's a doctor?
Yeah, my wife is a podiatrist. She's a doctor. She practiced for a long time in both in Ohio and in Georgia.
And you have two children, and both of them are in college?
Yeah, one is in a medical school in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and another one is doing MBA in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I am a Kiwanis member. I'm a board member in Kiwanis Club. I volunteer at a local schools, elementary, middle school, and high school. We do a lot of work in charity.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, there was some sort of mention about a DUI. So can you just tell us a little bit about that just so we can kind of get that out of the way? And then if that's the only thing that was on your record, then, that's pretty thin record there, right there. So what happened there?
Well, there was a charge on a DUI and reckless driving. That charge was dropped to reckless driving. I don't have a DUI, convicted DUI on my record. Uh, but regardless, for this case, if somebody is trying to connect the dot between a DUI and a kidnapping, that's a long stretch.
Yeah, they're just trying to. I think they're just trying to assassinate your character by saying oh, this is the type of guy that gets pulled over for DUI and not exactly the type of person that's a professional that went to school, has an engineering degree, owns and manages real estate, and is married to a doctor and has children in college. I don't think that that's who they were trying to portray as the person here. This scary defendant by who tried to kidnap. A little baby out of a mother's arms. So a lot of times you hear about kidnapping cases where the children are alone and somebody's trying to lure the children into, a white van or a cargo van. And that's where you hear more these stories about kidnapping, not where someone's trying to brutally snatch someone's child out of their arms, which right away is one of the red flags in this case, is that this is not usually how kidnapping is presenting. So, I mean, let's just talk about the actual details of that day. So this was March 18th, 2025, right? You went to the Walmart. We saw some of the surveillance. So just kind of tell us about what that day was like. You went into Walmart it looks like to get some Tylenol for your mom. Was that what it was about?
Yeah, my mom lives with me. I'm a caregiver for her. She's an 86-year-old with severe arthritis, and she takes a special type of Tylenol. That night after dinner, I found out she doesn't have a Tylenol, so I said, "Let me get you a Tylenol." I went to a Walmart to get a special type of Tylenol. I was texting my daughter as to what type, and she literally texted me the image of that Tylenol that I'm supposed to get.
What type of Tylenol was it?
It's a quick gel, quick acting gel type of Tylenol.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So then you're trying to find this Tylenol in the Walmart. I guess you never went there before to find this.
Yeah, exactly. My family knows that anytime I go to a big store like Walmart, I always get lost, and I would be calling my family members and say, where is this stuff? I mean, I have a hard time. That's why I don't go to Walmart much. Probably this was my first trip in 2025. So my wife was out of town. Both girls are nowhere to be found. So I was texting and I was looking for an employee. And in Walmart, you very hard time getting an employee. So I couldn't find anybody. And I saw a lady in a scooter. So I humbly asked her.
Before we get there, let me ask you. So you said that your mom, you take care of your mom. So you forgot to mention that. So she actually lives in your house with you.
Absolutely. She's living with us for last 26 years. My daughter is a 26-year-old. We took care of my mom and dad at my house. Never worked.
Wow.
We took care of them for 26 years. Yes.
So, I mean, first of all, God bless you for doing that. And also, God bless your wife for allowing her in-laws to move in with her, essentially.
Yeah, she didn't leave me, I guess.
Yeah, she must really love you. So who usually got her Tylenol? Like, how did she usually get the Tylenol picked up for her? Was that ordered online? Like, how did you do that?
Normally, my wife or my daughter will pick it up, or after COVID, everything changed, so we will order it online through CVS, Walgreens, or Walmart.
So this time, just for whatever reason, you just ran out and you need to go get some.
Yeah, usually my daughter or wife will help me with at least ordering it, and they were not here, so I was like, I'll go get it.
Okay, so then you answered, and you saw this lady in a motorized scooter who turned out to be the alleged victim, or as you say, the fake victim. So why did you go over to her in the first place? Did she look like she was a Walmart employee, or did she just look like a mom who may know Walmart better than you? Like, what was why did you decide to go over in the first place?
And she happened to be very close by, and I know she was not an employee. She was in a handicap electric chair with the two kids. I just casually asked her, And so, do you know where the Tylenol is? I ask anybody, any place. I mean, it's not a crime anyway. So if she told me that she's not going to help, I would walk away. But she said, yeah, I would be happy to help you. So she was courteous. So I, chug along with her. And
so then she points in the surveillance, she points somewhere, right?
well, first of all, I realized she was in a handicapped chair. So I said, just point me to the general relaxation. And she said, no, I will take you there. And she started driving that scooter, which she had either a problem driving it, or I thought maybe battery would be going down. It's electric thing. And she was driving with one hand and another hand was a kid. So she was stopping and going. And so at that point, I in fact told her that just show me where it is and I'll go get it.
And then she points down somewhere for you to get it, right?
Yeah, so she pointed and then started going that direction, actually, as you can see in the video. And it's on a corner. So at that point where it was supposed to turn, I literally told her that before as well, because, I don't want to burden her with it. So she started pointing, and when she started to get up, and that's when I thought the kids is going to fall. So I was trying to just protect the kids from falling on the floor, and when I realized she hesitated, I let it go. There was a quick couple of seconds of interaction, and I said thank you, sorry if I offended you, and I said I will find another employee, and then I move my life.
So she tried to get up out of the scooter. That's what you saw that she was trying to do, trying to get up out of the motorized shopping cart, whatever you want to call it. So she's trying to get up, and that's when you notice that her son on her lap is about to fall. So you just go and try to save this son from falling.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then did she actually point you in the right direction, or was it the wrong aisle for the Tylenol?
No, after this interaction, she literally shows me and point me towards the aisle after this brief interactions. And I started going the direction, and then I went and find another employee to get the Tylenol.
So it was the wrong aisle, actually.
Well, no, what happened? Yeah, because the pharmaceuticals aisles are on other it's in different direction, like east, west, and north, south. So there were multiple aisles, and I went through a couple of aisles already before I talked to her. So it was a little further down the road.
And that person that we saw in the surveillance that was wearing he had a yellow shirt on, and he was like the closest witness there. He was a Walmart employee.
I didn't see him at the beginning, but it looks like he's an employee. I didn't see him that time at the beginning when I started interacting with this alleged victim.
Here, let me just here, I'll play it for you. So this is it. In case everybody not familiar with this already, I turned off the sound because this is actually from the bond hearing. So that so this orange shirt man right there, he's right behind where you're going to see them in a second. Just let it play for one moment. You didn't see this guy before, and see he's turning around. He's right there turning, in that aisle, and then he starts turning around a little bit to see what's going on. But just to show everybody the interaction here for a moment. Is that where she was trying to get out of that scooter, and then the son is about to fall, and that's when you grabbed him?
That's correct. What happened is, again, I said that she had a hard time driving that scooter, and she kind of jerked and clipped that corner a little bit as well. And that's when I tried to help the kid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just watching the video a little bit more. So what happens here, and I'll just speed it up for a drop. Did you ever hear what that? See, there she's pointing to you right now. You see that's after the interaction.
Yes.
Did that witness ever give a statement about what happened? Did he speak to you or your attorneys? What happened with this witness?
What happened is we hired a private investigator, and he had an interview with him, and he clearly said that if at any moment he thought that child was in a danger, he was arm length behind out there, and he could have helped. And he thought that there was casual interaction where the kid thought that, the little kids, they try to grab your attention, or and it was just a casual interaction. He never
Yeah,
thought about it.
and you see here where she backs up into the. Let me just see if I can get it a little bit better there. You see, she backs up and she's talking. It doesn't look like she's terrified. It doesn't look like the kid's crying. Everything looks fine there when they're talking. They're almost like laughing. But that's what happens. So then eventually you get another employee to come and help you out find the Tylenol, right?
Yes. She came with me in the aisle and picked up the Tylenol. Yes.
And then I kind of want to show you a little bit more because I'm just going to speed this up a drop. And this is actually shown at your bond hearing. And there's a child that fell out of the motorized shopping cart right there. So not the safest driver. And there you are.
Yeah,
is this where the employee? And that's where the employee actually finds the correct place for you?
That is correct. She's the one who got me to Tylenol, yes.
Okay, let's go forward a little bit more. And now tell me what happens here. So now you're passing by. You got the right Tylenol now?
Yeah, this is the main aisle, actually, before you go out to checkout lane. And when I started going back, I saw her chugging along with the scooter. So I casually, again, stopped by and thanked her for trying to help me. And I said, hey, I got my Tylenol. That's the one I was looking for. Thank you very much. And she gave me a thumbs up, actually, as well, before I went to the checkout lane.
Yeah, it seems like that was a thumbs up right there. And now you go to the checkout lane, and here she's talking to somebody. There you are at the checkout lane. And does this look like is this you fleeing the scene right now by going to checkout and pay for the Tylenol?
If that is considered fleeing, that would be the slowest fleeing that you will ever see any human being did.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. It doesn't look like you're trying to flee anywhere. And then usually when you're trying to flee the scene, you don't stop and talk to employees. And now you're talking to this guy right there in the Walmart vest, right?
Yes.
What were you talking to him about?
Just casual, how are you doing? And then say, I was here to get a Tylenol for my mom. Talk about weather, just chit chat, general thing, and nothing specific about.
You're just being friendly. Are you always this friendly with people? You just say
people who know me for half an hour, maybe including you would know me that I like to talk with people. I'm a very personable guy.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that way from the surveillance footage. It doesn't look like you're fleeing anywhere. So tell us what happens now that you go home. So now, for as far as you're concerned, this was a normal trip to Walmart. It's not normal because you don't usually go to Walmart. You try to avoid Walmart, but you went to Walmart, you found the medicine, you brought it home to your mom, and now you're sitting at home. And what happens next? Like, tell us what happens next when you eventually get arrested.
Yeah, so we're talking about this is March 18th, which I came home and think twice about this incident. Fast forward this for next 2 days. We, like I said, we run a real estate company. So I went to Dalton, which is like 70, 80 miles from where we live, for some flooring materials. And on the way back in afternoon, I bring the material back, and little did I know that my life is going to be just completely upside down in a moment, few moments from now. I had no idea. So it's a Friday afternoon. It's around 5 o'clock, 5:15 on a busy, Atlanta traffic, state highway, 4-lane, double-lane highway, both sides. And I entered I crossed the Ackworth, and my town is a Kennesaw. So I was in a city of Kennesaw jurisdiction. And I looked from my truck in a mirror, and there are 3 cops literally One is driving on an emergency lane, not behind me, but a little further. One is on a left lane, and one is behind my car's behind. So I was like, and they are SUV, driving SUV, and I was like, no lights on. And I looked at it, and I was like, wow, what is going on? Something, they are after somebody, or why this guy is driving in an emergency lane? So little did I know that I'm going to be the one they're going to be after. And within a 200 feet, they just flew in right away and got out of the car at gunpoint and said, drop the keys. And I don't know how to explain. I mean, I was just frozen up. And three people pointing gun at me. And I was frightened to my death. This was the scariest moment of my life. I don't know what to do except I left the car running even, and I tried like I'm getting out, and they get down on their knees and get on the floor. In the meanwhile, there's another guy came from other direction, wrong direction, even police, and shut down the whole area and arrested me, cuffed me, had me walk 20, 30 steps to their officer's hood, and they took out my phone and they said, you are under arrest. We have a warrant for you. You are under arrest. And that's all they said. And
did they tell you what they're arresting you for?
No. Nobody said nothing about it.
So you're just driving regular day, nothing that you can think of. This is like my
no, I said I was not speeding. I didn't run the red light. I had no idea. No idea.
So you just get arrested. You're like, whoa, what is this about? They don't even tell you what they're arresting you for. And then what happens next?
Well, they take me to the police station, which is again Ackworth. They started driving towards Ackworth, and I was lost because there was a Kennesaw city, but I was brought into Ackworth police station. So I don't know. Maybe they saw me in Ackworth doing something, red light or speeding. I had no idea. But anyway, they took me to the Ackworth police station. And something called good cop, bad cop. You know, the good cop comes into the civilian clothing and asks me, what happened. And I just explained you that. That's what I said. I nothing thought twice about it. But again,
what do you mean? Wait, stop. I'm just going to be a lawyer here. So okay. They bring you back to the station. They take you into an interrogation room.
Yes, they did.
And when do they tell you why you're there?
They didn't tell me why you are there. You are under arrest, and we wanted to talk to you about it.
So what are you talking about?
So they said that we want to talk about your trip to Walmart 2 days ago or 3 days ago, whatever.
And this is the good cop.
That's the good cop.
Okay, so Mr. Patel, we want to talk to you about your trip to Walmart. What can you tell us about that? Something like that?
There's something like that.
And you're saying, what? What should it talk about?
I don't know. Exactly. And I got a Tyler. I said, did you have an interaction with the, lady? And then my memory started coming. Like, then I explained that I tried to get help from the lady who was in a handicapped chair. And I tried to help the kid. And there was nothing big about it. And I stayed in a Walmart for almost 10 minutes after that, paid for my credit card, talked to a member of 3-4 guys over there. I gave her a Tylenol. She gives me a thumbs up. And yeah, I didn't think about anything. And then he walked out. He said, I'll be right back. After a few minutes, come back again and say, you are going to jail. I said, for what charges? We'll let you know. But you're going to jail.
So they still didn't tell you why they arrested you. You don't know whether it's shoplifting or if it's anything else, right?
No, at that moment I had no idea. In fact, I couldn't find out that until fast forward this to next morning in jail.
Well, did they give you a phone call? Like, did you say,
right. So what happened is, it was a perfect storm for me, actually, because the computer system went down in the jail. Cobb County computer system was hacked. So we couldn't make a call. My PIN won't work. They couldn't book me through their computer system as well. So I couldn't call anybody that I am at least in a jail. In fact, I pleaded to the police in Acworth that my mom is alone by herself. Can I call her? Can I give one call? They won't let me call her. They took away my phone, and I said, look, I don't remember people's phone. I know my daughters and wives, but they are not here. I need to get a phone for my niece and my
Where was your wife?
My wife was in Virginia. She was taking care of my mother-in-law for a few days. So she was not in town. I was by myself with my mom.
Oh, so your mom was by herself.
By herself.
So who took care of her while you were in jail that first day or two? She was just by herself? She had no idea where you were?
Well, I didn't know until a couple of days after I found out that she waited past midnight, waiting for me to come home. And then finally she went to sleep, hoping that I would have come or I'm coming. And she had no idea that I was arrested at that evening. No idea.
Well, she was probably terrified that something happened to you because you didn't come home.
Well, she was terrified actually, but there's nothing to talk to. She cannot dial the phone. Somebody got to help her dial the phone or waiting for somebody to call. So she was basically helpless, and she went to sleep, hoping that I would be here in the morning.
And when she woke up in the morning, what happened?
Well, so in the jail, around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning or something around there, I got handed over the piece of paper and say, you are denied a bond. So like, denied a bond. So I saw the paper, which was a warrant. It was a warrant that this guy arrested me for. So I looked at it, and first thing says I was charged with a simple assault, battery, and third charges were kidnapping. And I was frozen. Like kidnapping, and I read this and I say he grabbed the kid and tried to run away with it, and he fled the scene.
So let me pause right there, because I want to show what the police put out. This is what Acworth put out from their Facebook, right? So, public information release on March 18th, 2025. Officers with the Acworth Police Department responded to Walmart located at the B105 Cobb Parkway after receiving a call of a male who attempted to snatch a juvenile away from their mother. Officers spoke with the mother and witnesses. I don't know what other witnesses they may have spoken to, but they said they spoke to other witnesses besides the mother and learned that the suspect approached her and asked a question about Tylenol. The suspect then grabbed the juvenile and attempted to pull the child away from the mother. The mother was able to break away with the juvenile, and the suspect fled the area. The juvenile was not injured during the incident. Detectives immediately began an investigation, and after reviewing the surveillance cameras, flock cameras, and speaking with witnesses, a suspect was identified and a warrant was secured. So this is them saying that they actually reviewed that surveillance footage that we just saw, and they came to the conclusion that you were trying to snatch the child away. That's what's maybe even more troubling about them maybe just believing her. Like, it's one thing if you want to believe the mother, who's terrified because someone just tried to grab their child and maybe they put on a good show. Okay, that's one thing. But here they actually said that they reviewed the surveillance footage. And after seeing the same footage that we just saw, they concluded that, yeah, you must be trying to attempt to kidnap this person. Right?
Yeah, that time he didn't say even the charges were kidnapping, not even attempted kidnapping. And I fled the scene.
Right. Yeah. So they tell you this, that you're denied bond. I mean, you didn't even know that there was a request for bond at that point, right? I mean, you just were sitting in jail. You had no idea about anything about bond, right?
No, I had
you didn't
no
even know what bond was, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know how this system is going to work, but yeah, exactly. No bond meaning that I'm not going to be able to get out, and the charges like kidnapping, very severe charges. So, and one thing on that press release or whatever you saw, they said that they thank 3 jurisdictions, Cobb County, for apprehending me, like I was fleeing. So, if you are a general public mom, I mean, it's a mom's nightmare. I mean, who doesn't want kidnapper to be apprehended?
Exactly.
Me, right? So they are playing to the fear of the people, and that's how they get their inflated ego. So, yeah, I was labeled as a kidnapper already there.
Okay, so now you're denied bond. They tell you that you're arrested, you're under arrest, and now when's the first time? This is what? This is March 18th. This is a couple days later, right? So we're talking about
March 22nd in the
March
morning.
22nd. So they tell you you're denied bond. Sorry, you're charged with kidnapping, a simple assault and battery. And now what? So now what happens?
So like I said, the phone system was down. So at the end, because anybody coming at that night after a certain time, they were they were not able to talk to anybody. So they open up a phone line and say, all right, guys, get in line, and you can take a turn for 10 minutes or less and try to call anybody. And if you cannot get a hold of anybody, then next person is going to be in line. So I waited in line. But before I go on, I wanted to point out one more thing is when I came, they tried to book me at the jail. They checked my blood pressure and it was running 185.
Oh boy.
So they would not take me and they said he got to go to emergency room. So they literally took me to emergency room, handcuffed on the bed, waited for 2-3 hours while they're trying to get my insurance, which they're not supposed to because I didn't voluntarily come in a hospital and the county is responsible for it. In fact, I'm still getting a bill with a collection agency and my credit score is already affected by that. We are getting bill after bill for one pill, one blood pressure pill, which I already have a prescription for, hundreds of dollars. So by the time they arrest me at 5:30 and I get in a jail, it's midnight. And in a hospital, they had a computer system going down at 11, so I was not a priority for them.
Right. Okay. Then eventually, so beyond that, now that you're getting charged hundreds of dollars for a pill that you already had, but now you're in line to call for your 10 minutes. So who do you choose to call in those 10 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. It's a morning. It's 5 o'clock or something. It's Saturday morning.
And it's
daughter,
5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, this is early morning. Yes.
Oh, so who's going to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday?
Exactly. Well, I happen to be a lucky guy. I have my closest, dearest friend, Melanie Bowling, whose phone I took it with me because my daughter, who is in Chicago, she was in Colombia, South America that time. She was not at home. And my other daughter is in Pacific time zone. So
by the way, I think Melanie is with us today watching. I think she's in the chat.
yeah.
Thank you, Melanie, for all that you've done.
Hi, Melanie. So Melanie, I was hoping and praying that Melanie would pick up my phone because, like I said, I had a 1 or 2 chance to call her. She picked up the phone in the morning on Saturday. And only 2 things I said to her. One thing is I was denied bond. I cannot discuss to you about the charges, but it's very serious charges I've been charged with. And my mom is at home by herself. So we gotta do some arrangement, call niece and have her pick her up. And the second thing is we need to hire one of these 2 lawyers. So I gave her 2 names of the lawyers. I said, it's a Saturday, it's a weekend. So let's wait until my daughter fly in from Colombia, South America, and we'll deal with it on Monday morning.
Okay, so Melanie's up Saturday, 5 o'clock. So who is Melanie to you? Is this just an old friend of yours? Is this?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they are my family friend. In fact, I call them Patels, but him and her and her husband run a real estate closing attorney's office. They are attorneys. Her husband is an attorney in Ackworth, and I know them for 20 years. They're my best friend. Yeah, so. They are like my family members to me, brother and sister.
Well, I mean you need a friend that's going to take a call for you at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. You know, if we could all have friends like that, we would be in a good place. So you call her. So you call her. You say, okay, we need to retain one of 2 attorneys. One of them, I'm assuming, was Ashley Merchant.
Yes.
And how do you know about Ashley Merchant?
I'm a junkie of all this law. I watch you guys, law tubers, and I watch trial, and I probably passing my time. So I have seen Ashley in action. In fact, I don't know, but she was involved with the RICO case in Fulton County.
Brian Steele.
And she was involved with a couple of other YSL cases as well. I have seen her in action in a court. She single-handedly torpedoed that whole RICO case against Trump and other guys in Fulton County. So I wanted a fighter. I don't want any lawyers that are negotiators and softer. I need the bulldog. So that's why I had a faith in her. So she was one of the two guys that I referred to.
Okay, and then so this is Saturday, but so Ashley's not going to be available till at least Monday, probably, right? So what happens? When do you actually meet the first time with Ashley?
So what happened is my daughter fly in. Melanie started ball rolling with everybody. She put up the chat group with my wife, two girls, my niece, and herself, and they started talking with each other because everybody's everywhere. They are all across the country or beyond country, and we know that office is closed. So until Monday, I cannot do anything. So I'm going to be, in a jail, and have to wait for it. So when my daughter fly into Miami, like I said, my PIN is still not working. Okay, on Sunday morning even. So one of the inmates helped me conference my daughter using his PIN number and ID. So I told her that tomorrow you got to talk to these two lawyers and see which one we can retain.
Okay, and then eventually you do, right?
Yeah. So and in the meantime, my niece comes home to pick up my mom. She lives in White, Georgia, which is north side of Cartersville, which is like 40 miles from my place. She forgot the key, so she cannot open the door. So she's panicking, and then she keep calling my daughter in Colombia. So she pick up the phone in the morning and say, "Why are you calling me?" And say, "Can you open a garage? Can you open a garage?" So she had a Wi-Fi remote control. So she opened a garage from Colombia to get in and say, "What is going on? What is going on?" He said, I don't know, but Google your dad's name." And my daughter find out from Colombia that I was charged, and she thought that my identity was stolen.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's probably trying to scratch their heads about what in the world happened here. So when is it that you first speak to Ashley? When is it that Ashley gets the discovery in this case? When is it that she files this motion to get you bond? Because you didn't get bond for like 50 days or something, right? You were in jail for like 50 days.
47 days. Yeah, 47
right,
days.
So the cops had they already pulled the surveillance footage, right? They had it right away. So how soon was Ashley able to get it and then put this issue in front of the court? What happened in terms of getting you bond as fast as possible?
So we hired Ashley on Tuesday. I remember I was arrested on Friday. So Tuesday, Ashley is on board. And then she immediately filed for discovery from state. And she came to see me actually as well. And then she filed a motion to get a discovery and a probable cause hearing. Originally, probable cause hearing was scheduled for sometime in March 15 or something like that. So we were hoping that they would hand over the discovery of videos and witnesses and all. They didn't hand over any of those evidences. And within 13 days, so at this point, I'm in a magistrate court, and we're charged with kidnapping, serious charges like that, denied bond. And there is a probable cause hearing supposed to happen where my attorney can cross-examine the detective, the witnesses, and collaborate the thing, and then hopefully drop the charge or at least get me out of the bond. Well, instead of doing that, instead of handing over all the documents, which they already had, they had a discovery of videos. In the 13 days, they indicted me. It was one of the fastest indictment in Cobb County ever. So instead of giving us a video, they indicted me. So the case moved over to the Superior Court. And the grand jury, I doubt that they saw the video even to the grand jury. In fact, they argued that it should be a kidnapping charge, but the grand jury indicted me with attempted kidnapping.
So this is something that's very interesting. I want to know the answer to that question. Was the grand jury shown this video?
We would never know. We don't know. Like I said,
you never got the answer to that question.
Yeah, but I think some of the guys saying in it that they never saw the video, but I don't know.
Okay, so then when did you get the video, and then when did Ashley make? Yeah, go ahead.
So in the meantime, I think they were, like I said, not responding to Ashley's request. So she subpoenaed Walmart. And thankfully, You need to have, so before even indictment, she subpoenaed, hoping that proactively we can try to get it from Walmart. So you got to have a court date in order to subpoena somebody. So at that time, my bond date, my probable cause hearing was still scheduled, and she was luckily able to get some 20 hours of video surveillance cameras from 20 different angles. By that time, they indicted me. So the probable cause hearing is canceled. My case moved on to Superior Court. And now we are waiting for the court date. And that complicated this whole thing. In order to get me a bond date, it took 47 days.
So did you eventually get the discovery from the state?
No,
Did you
not
get,
until I bonded out. They didn't discuss. They didn't hand over any documents. Not a single one. After
they hand over the video?
no, they never hand over the video. The video, thankfully, Ashley Merchant was able to disseminate in the media. Prior to that, we never got a video before bond. Before
So
I bonded.
she got the video from Walmart, not from the state, not from the prosecutor?
No, we never got it. In fact, in Georgia, you are required, defense, the prosecutor, to hand over the video or any evidence 10 days before trial. They are not required to give you anything prior to that. 10 days before the trial. Here we are trying to get a probable cause hearing or bond hearing, and we don't have anything.
That I have to be honest, that makes no sense to me. That makes absolutely no sense to me that they can hold on to exculpatory evidence until 10 days before trial. I mean, I have to do some research on that, but that is very, very difficult for me to believe. But it's even harder for me to believe that the prosecutor refused to hand this over when there's a discovery request. I mean, that's what requests for discovery are. You got to turn over all the evidence that you have against the defendant. So this is keeps getting worse and worse as you're explaining this.
In fact, they went one step further. They put a motion out there to gag me and my attorney from speaking outside, claiming that the victim is getting harassed, or I should say fake victim, but she's getting a harassment on a social media, and they don't care about me. My name was vilified already in the news media everywhere, but they don't care less.
That's not going to happen anymore. Your name's going to be gold by the time we're done with this. And also at that bond hearing, the prosecutor opposed the bond, right? Didn't the prosecutor oppose giving you bond because of the allegations?
He basically, he denied a consensus on a consent bond. So that's why we have to go in front of judge. But I don't know you know or not, but this particular ADA, assistant DA, came from Ackworth Police. He was a police chief in the same Ackworth city who arrested me. He was the one who was training his boys. And until December of last year, he moved on to Cobb County in January from Ackworth. So either he was trying to protect his boys, or maybe he was trying to protect himself because he was training them. He argued that it should be a kidnapping charge, and I should not be. I am a fleeing,
flight risk.
Flight risk, exactly, flight risk. So I shouldn't deny the bond.
So okay, you're in jail for about 47 days, 49 days?
47 days.
47 days while you're waiting to get out on bond. And thanks for all the hard work that Ashley Merchant did and the skilled work, able to get this Walmart video, show it to the judge. And, let me ask you this. Did you pick up on what the judge's feelings were about this case? Because I think everyone, when they're watching that and they saw that the judge saw the video and the judge was granting you bond, it kind of felt to me like the judge was like, are you serious that you're charging this guy? It was like he had an opinion about it, I felt. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, he made a comment, actually, something like, today is not my day to make a comment on this particular case.
Yeah, exactly.
Today is only a bond date, so I'm not going to go put my opinion on it. But I think I sensed that he saw the bullshit going on this right away.
So tell me about jail, because you were in jail for 47 days for an alleged attempted kidnapping. And I know a little bit about jail. I've never been in jail, thank God. I mean, as an inmate, I've been there to meet clients. But when you're in jail and the crime has something to do with children, a lot of times the other inmates don't like you that much. And you're kind of in a different category. You go, let's say you go murder someone who's part of a gang. Okay, that's like kind of like okay. But when it has to do with these type of charges of kidnapping, and then maybe you had some intentions of what you're going to do with the child. So did you get any of those feelings in jail? Did you have any interactions with inmates about this? Did anyone like start to kind of rough you up or something like that?
Yeah, multiple times. Actually, I was getting a death threat since my media. I mean, since thankfully thanks to the legacy media, because my name was already there on the local media everywhere. So next day, when the new inmates started coming, one of the inmates point blankly in front of everybody said, "I saw this guy. He was trying to kidnap a kid." And next thing you know, news spread right in that dorm. 60 people in that dorm, open dorm, and I started getting threatened, harassment. People wanted to jump on me. They were making comments such as, "What if hey old man, if I put you in a bath shower and beat the crap out of you, what would you do?" I said, "Look, I am not here to fight anybody. I won't even do anything." One of the guy also said like such thing like, "Why don't you give me $500,000 and we'll try to protect you?" Another guy said such thing like, "If you ever get out, I'll see you outside." In front of the deputies, actually. In fact, I told him and said, "Don't worry about it." It was an open dorm. Again, with my luck, that dorm was locked down because of COVID. So I was in the open dorm with 60 people in the double bunk bed for almost more than 3 weeks. I couldn't sleep at night. I was terrified that somebody may come stab me, beat me while I'm sleeping. It was a very sad moment.
Yeah, I mean, how did you keep yourself safe? I mean, like, did anybody act on their threats?
Well, a couple of guys actually started believing me. I didn't tell them a whole story, but they believe that this guy may not have done it, and they try to protect me. Actually, there's a lot of gangs out there. You may be already aware of it in a jail. Uh, so some of the leaders, I had a hard time trying to even call people because its phones are occupied through different gangs, and you're outsider. And he tried to help me with it, try to protect me, I don't know the jail language, so I had a trouble even understanding how this thing works. So a couple of guys tried to help me at the beginning that time.
Let me ask you a question. When did you find out about the Lyft lawsuit? So this is the person who's claiming that you tried to kidnap her child, had a tug of war for 10 seconds, which the surveillance footage very clearly debunks. And then somehow you find out about this Lyft lawsuit. So how did you find out about the Lyft lawsuit? Was it Ashley? Was it a private investigator? And just walk us through that. And then did you also find out any additional police reports that this fake victim or alleged victim, whatever you want to call her, made with the police? And this is the type of person that you're dealing with. When did you find all that stuff out, and what did you find out?
Yeah, again, Ashley used to come once a week to meet me. I think a couple of weeks gone by, and we end up hiring a private investigator. After maybe second or third weeks, he come back and say, we found out that she also in a class action lawsuit against the Lyft driver. We don't know if the case is closed or not, but we believe that the guy, the accused, was not charged with whatever the rape things he was talking about. We are looking into that, and fast forward this for a few weeks more, and then we found out that through private investigator that she had 20 cases in the last 7 years, and she's a 26-year-old woman. 20 cases.
20 complaints that you made to police?
Yeah, 20 complaints of various um, type of allegations in last 7 years.
And did any of
Yes.
them did any of them stick? Like, were any of them valid?
Um, they were all sorts of cases. Like, I mean, it looks like she's a career, police caller, or I don't know. And Ackworth Police, to be honest with you, City of Ackworth Police visited her case multiple times, so they should know who she is.
You know that in Georgia, it's a crime to mislead the police and to make yourself out to be a victim of a crime when you're not. That's a possibility for the prosecutor to charge her with. Did they speak to you about, since you're the victim here, now that they've dropped the charges, you're the victim of her creating false allegations, potentially, and that itself is a crime. And if you're talking about probable cause, looking at that video, misleading the police, where the reports are that she said that there was a tug of war for 10 seconds, or right away, that's right away misleading the police. That's definitely not accurate. There can be charges brought against her. Did they speak to you about that possibility?
No, nobody has spoken to me about doing any actions against her from either police or DA's office that I know of.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, you said that she gave, and again, I don't know any of this for a fact, but you're telling me that she had something like 20 other police reports or complaints that she made as an alleged victim or a victim of a crime. Now we see what happened here, and who knows who the next person could be, who could be sitting in jail for the next, who knows how many days or months or weeks, because of these type of allegations, which turn out to be false. Maybe they should speak to you about that, and protect the next person out there.
Yeah, I would hope so, but I won't put my trust on that one for sure.
Yeah. So you do know that because of everything that you've gone through and all the facts that we've spoken about today, you do know that you have the potential, and I would say strong likelihood of succeeding in a civil lawsuit. That would be a lawsuit perhaps against the fake victim, the municipality, police station. There's a number of different causes of actions that you could bring potentially as a result of everything that you've gone through. I know plenty of cases where a person was only in jail for a day, and there's been civil actions brought and significant recovery. So are you considering that avenue?
At this point, I won't comment on that.
Okay, that's completely fine. And let me ask you this, just to leave off. So what are aside from that, what are your plans for the future? Because of this, now this is behind you. Are you planning on staying in Georgia? Just generally speaking, besides watching Brother Counsel every single day, what other plans for the future do you have?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in Georgia. I'm in Cobb County, and I'm going to be in Kennesaw, and I'm going to be at my house. So, let me be very clear with this. In fact, I would like, we are in a defining phase. I'm a black belt Six Sigma certified guy. Okay, I'm an engineer, I'm an analyzer. So I think we are in a defining phase of problem. There are multiple problems happen in this case, including they took out a warrant on my cell phone after a month when we asked for them to give me my phone back. And they didn't seal that phone either. And they took out a general warrant. So there are multiple errors happen in this case. And it's shameful that the legacy media parrot everything that police says and put people's life in a public eye. And before you have a chance on your day to tell your side of the story, thanks to you guys, at least you are analyzing it, they just parrot what police says. And doesn't matter what consequences happen to ordinary people like me or my family or my friends. people get life ruined um, without you being proven as a guilty guy. You lose jobs, you lose all kind of stuff. But that's called collateral damage in our system. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
one of those collateral damage. Things happens. I mean, who? So in a protecting the community, police can literally do. There's qualified immunity against them, um, or DA's office, so they can get away with this. And I want to be a voice of voiceless. In fact, I will ask you. I would like to help you guys. Just like what are you doing? How do we get where we people have a fair chance to talk about both sides of the story, like probable cause? I didn't get that. If it wasn't for video, friends like Melanie, who stood out for me, and the social media, what I was thinking when I was in jail is, if I get out ever in outside of it, how would I be able to go to gas station? How would I be able to go? My wife would be able to go to store. Would we be able to go out in a restaurant? People would be, my life would be in danger. This is some serious charges, and we need to do something about it. And I think with a team of people, like I said, we can define a problem. We cannot solve everything and everything, but I think we can make a meaningful impact, at least in my community, at least in my Cobb County, at least in my Georgia. We can do something, because it's so system is broken. It's a club. It's called club. If you are part of the club member, we will do anything to double down, triple down of your mistake, and doesn't matter. It's a like I say, collateral damage for the sake of protecting the citizens, so called. When people in a uniform speak, it speaks volume. People believe them. People believe blindly to law enforcement, DA's office. They personally make a public statement about somebody. Like this Surgeon Mistreda make a statement saying that, thank God they caught me. Otherwise, kids could be injured, or worse yet, he could be dead in a public arena. And I fled the scene. 3 jurisdiction cooperation, they were able to apprehend me. This is a life-changing event for somebody's life and their family.
Better
So I
believe
will
it.
be advocating about that.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
will need your
did you
help.
ever think, I mean, you're a person of means, as you said, you're a professional, your wife's a doctor, you own real estate. So, you can afford an attorney, a high-powered attorney like Ashley Merchant. Did it ever cross your mind about what would have happened if you were not able to afford such a high-powered attorney? Could the outcome have been different? Could you have been still sitting in jail? And who knows, maybe, the surveillance wouldn't have gotten showed to the public, and they wouldn't been able to get the surveillance, and the prosecution's not turning it over, whatever. Did that ever cross your mind, that what should people do that don't come from the same means of you, and what their chances would be?
Oh, certainly, because I like I said, I stayed there for 47 days. I met so many people. Not everybody has a resource. Not everybody has the luxury of what I did. I'm an exception to the rules. People don't have a money to bond out $500. They don't have. They have a public defender. Public defenders are very busy. They are overloaded with the cases. So, in typical scenario, what would happen if I was not having a luxury of hiring Ashley Merchant and had a video? Is with this type of charges, I'll be sitting in jail for at least year, 2 years, 2.5 years, while my side of the story would never ever come out. Okay, my family and everybody would be dragged through the mud, and then after 3 years, if we are going to trial, let's say, the prosecutor exactly know they don't have a case. So my public defender would come back to me and say, plead out, please plead out. And if you lose this case, we don't have evidence. We didn't get evidence yet. If you lose this case, you will be locked up for 25 years, 30 years. Please take a plea. Take whatever 2 years, 10-year probation. And my wife and my daughters and my family and friends, they would be like, take the plea, please take the plea and get out of this. And I would be arguing and say, no, I didn't do anything. Say, we all know that, but it's not right and wrong anymore. And I would be rotting in a jail. and I will take a plea and probably 10, 15 years of probation, maybe 5 years of jail, and everybody think he did it. That's why he pleaded. That's how system works. That is exactly how system works. I'm an exception to this.
Yeah, I think that part of the strategy here was that Ashley filed for a speedy trial. There's certain rules in Georgia about when you have to file for a speedy trial, but I think that actually in your case it helped you because a lot of, like you said, otherwise you could have been sitting there for a year and a half, 2 years, but because you got on the speedy trial docket, everything had to be sped up, and they were able to get that bond hearing earlier and able to get you out. And then as soon as everyone saw what was going on, then the judge the prosecutor made the right choice to dismiss the case. Did you follow? By the way, did you follow the Karen Reed case at any chance?
I did. I was watching your video.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a case where the prosecutor did not drop the charges.
I think maybe you guys were too busy with the Karen Reed, so you couldn't get a chance to see my title story.
Yeah. Well. I mean, it's possible, but I mean, I still get emails all the time, even when I was covering Karen Reed about, different potential cases to cover. I just literally, I mean, no one was picking up on your case, and I didn't see it until somebody actually sent me the email, and I started looking into it, and I couldn't believe it. It was just mind blowing. And once I saw the video of the Walmart, I mean, that was really the end of it for me. I mean, like, it was very clear what was this tremendous miscarriage of justice. So let me ask you this question, because some people are asking, do you ever go into chats and while you're watching live trials or anything like that, and you have a YouTube name so people can know who you are, or is that you just sit back and watch and enjoy the show?
Until now, I will sit back and enjoy the show, but I may be chiming on. You may see me somewhere.
Do you have a specific YouTube name that you go under that people can see you on, or is that something you don't want to share?
Yeah, I think I'm already too much publicized, so I'll let you know when I'm ready to do that.
Okay, fine. Well, sounds good. Okay, well, anyway, thank you, sir, very much again for coming onto the show. Hopefully, this will be the last these type of prosecutions that we're seeing. Karen Reed case we saw, and now we saw with you. Luckily, in your case, the prosecutor did the right thing. But I think you would definitely have some things that you need to think about.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out, actually, even after video was released and the whole world knows that she was a fake victim making up, the DA still dragged down until my trial date is set. And on a judge's calendar, they dragged their foot. Remember, I am out of the bond for 2 months. They didn't drop the charges until I demanded, you got two options. Either you drop the charges or we are taking you to trial. And that's when they dropped it. So they had no choice. That's why they dropped it.
Yeah. I mean, look, Mahandra, the public's finding out about this case now, and they're very happy. And they're actually, as Mara says, the public is outraged. So we are outraged. I'm glad we can shed some light onto it. And again, hopefully the more that we shed light on this, the more it'll keep the prosecutors honest, the detectives honest, the troopers honest, the people that are investigating cases honest, and make sure that before they put somebody in prison or jail, that they really have some solid probable cause and not just something that would happen in your case.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so. And I hope other law tubers pick up this story and, spread it, because it's innocent people getting locked up.
Yes, they will. And I'm sure your inbox is going to be full, if it's not already, by other law tubers. And it'll be up to you about how much you want to get out there and share the story, but it's an important story to share. And I appreciate you coming on to our channel first and sharing it with my audience. And obviously other people will share the video as well, and we'll get the word out there. And again, the whole point here is to create a better system to make sure that everyone's playing by the rules and not just deciding to believe one side over the other with very, very little or flimsy or thin evidence. So thank you again for coming on. And if you have any last thoughts, I'll give it to you, and then I'll call it a day.
Well, I wanted to thank you, actually, because I think we need you. We need your type of law tubers in this country anymore, because the media lost their objective investigation now. People have to turn on to you guys to find the real story. What is happening, because they are parroting what police says. And I thank you for doing that. And I hope that you would share more lights on other people. And God bless you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mahandra. I'm going to take you off now. Have a great rest of the day. I know that you're traveling today, so we appreciate you taking the time for us. Congratulations, by the way, on the engagement of your niece, which I know you're out of town for. So still appreciate you making the time, and have a safe trip back home.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. That was Mahandra Mick Patel. Very, very sad story. And again, these types of stories need the publicity. I mean, this is what we're here for. We're here to make sure that the prosecutions are honest. We have to shed light when there's more going on, or when there's injustice. And that's exactly what this was. So again, we're happy that the prosecutor did the right thing in this case and dismissed the case. We're happy that Mahandra was willing to come onto the channel and share his story. And hopefully other people will pick it up. Other law tubers will pick it up. And it's an important story that needs to be told, and people have to hear about it. And the better that we can make our system, that's what we're here for. So, as part of the system, as someone who's very active in the system, I want the system to be as perfect as possible. Nothing's perfect. It's a great system, but it's not perfect. So that's why we need stories like this to help America, help prosecutors all over the country, and help our justice system. And that's what we're here for. So we're glad that we can do our little part. And thank you all for joining in today. And hopefully this is the last of these type of cases that we're going to have to hear about. So that will be it. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and we will see you, as always, next time. Take care, everyone.